Well, good morning, everybody. This is now the second Sunday where we haven't been able to meet at church because of the coronavirus. And today I just thought I would share a book that I'm reading, happen to be reading, and ask you to do the same. Maybe if you make a comment, take a picture of the book and comment on it, or make a little video and tell us what you like about the book. So mine is called The First Salute by Barbara Tuchman, and it takes place during the Revolutionary War, although she refers to a lot of other things as well in the telling of the story. I got my coffee today, so this mug has the quotes of famous stories that begin them, like "Call me Ishmael" or "It was a pleasure to burn." The quotes are all over here. And today's coffee is roasted by my son David. He roasted these beans, and so this book kind of illustrates one of the reasons why I love to read history. It's about something I didn't know anything about. So it's about the first salute to a ship, to the American flag. So there was a little tiny warship, the Andrew Doria, which was fitted with a few guns, and it was sent down to this little tiny Dutch island in the Caribbean. And when it entered the harbor, it was flying what was then one of the earliest American flags, red, white, and blue stripes, and up in the canton was the British St. George Cross and the Scottish Cross, and that was the American flag, not the British flag. So when the ship came into the harbor, it dipped its flag to the fort and fired a salute from the cannon. Now, the commander of the fort ran to the governor's house and asked, "What should I do? This is an American ship." And this little Dutch harbor and this little Caribbean island did a lot of business with everybody, the French, but the English as well. And the governor said, de Graaf was his name, "You need to honor the salute." So he went back to the fort, and the fort dipped its flag, and then they fired cannon in response. And that was the first official salute or recognition of the American flag as a nation that ever happened. I didn't know that. So in this book, the author not only traces some of the naval things in the American experience in the Revolutionary War, but she uses this little island as a way to trace the Dutch influence on the American Revolution, including the Netherlands struggle against Spanish rule that had happened, a long time ago, and where they stood up to Spain and became independent. And then during the war, the influence that they had in helping us gain our independence. It's fascinating. But there's this one quote that I really liked. So this governor, de Graaf, he got in trouble for having saluted an American ship. The English did not like this, and they demanded that he be recalled. And so he went back to Holland, and he stood trial and to explain himself, and which he did by not explaining anything. So they allowed him to go back and be governor of the island. And this was important because America at the time had no way to produce weapons or gunpowder. And so the gunpowder or the weapons had to come through ships. And England was blockading that. So many of these ships went through this little tiny port in this Caribbean island. And the governor traded with America and let the ships in and out, and because he was sympathetic to the American cause. And I really like how the author puts what this man did. Barbara Tuchman says, "The governor who presided over all this activity is memorable for no action of heroism or heroic utterance, but rather for a steady, unwavering purpose effectively pursued." Now, I really like that. This man wasn't in a battle. He didn't, pull out his sword and say something heroic in the middle of fire, but this is what he did. He had steady, unwavering purpose effectively pursued. And that helped our country at that time. It changed everything. And when I read history books, it's those little things that really make me think about my own life and what is it that I'm pursuing, and am I being steady and persistent in what I'm pursuing? Is it worth doing? Is it effective? Is it changing my life? Is it impacting others' lives around me, my community? And I find that encouraging reading about this governor who, in the position he had, with the authority he had, and the influence he had, he pursued a course of action which changed things. Now, I hope that some of you share books that you're reading. The only thing I ask is this. If you share a quote, like you might share a great character description or a quote you like or whatever, if you're reading a murder mystery, do not give away the ending. Don't do that. For example, this book that I'm reading, it's about the American Revolution, and I am determined that I will not give away the ending. So keep calling one another and contacting each other, church. And I've had great conversations this week with people like Jeff and Marika and Dave. And I just encourage you to keep contacting people on the phone and letting them know that you're thinking about them and caring about them. So stay safe, stay connected.